Welcome back to the show. And I'm fired up that you're here because I'm going to lead you through something today that we referenced in the previous episode. We're continuing to talk about releasing resistance when we are ready to rise, when we know there's a next level, a next vista, there's a new goal, there's a new milestone that's been calling to us, that's got that spark of fire. What can happen, not always, but what can happen frequently if it's something big, exciting, new, different than we've done before. It's a more money than we've made before. It's a bigger stage, literally or metaphorically, than we've been on before. It's an endeavor that either we've tried in the past and hasn't worked to launch something, create something, write something, or it's something we've never attempted before. And part of the reason we haven't attempted it is because we think, oh my gosh, like me, bestseller. What? Okay, so this can come up. What I want to walk you through today is a methodology I've shared in a previous episode about different ways we can clear both conscious and subconscious mindset blocks. And if you have read my book, The Science of Getting Rich for Women, you'll know that I believe this is an absolutely essential part of the rise to any next level, internally, externally. There is an inside job that is involved if we're going for something new, different, big, more than we've ever been before. As long as our brain even thinks it's bigger, new, different, more, there can be a rise also first of resistance before we rise to the summit of that next goal. And that's what I want to tackle today and walk you through a strategy. It's really a tool that I use to clear this resistance in myself and help our clients become empowered by going through this process together so that we don't stay stuck. Because as simple as this sounds, and we think, oh, mindset is everything, and mindset is 80%, like the, big sports psychology stats that came out in the 80s. I think mindset's 100%. If we don't address the subconscious, epigenetic, meaning ancestral and conscious resistance, we likely won't achieve it. It'll take a really long time to achieve it, and it will be unpleasant, and we will potentially sabotage when we get there, if we do get there. So we don't want any of that. You don't deserve that. You deserve to actually just clear this out, get aligned, and just absolutely go ovaries out towards your goal and have it be fulfilled, because what you are seeking is seeking you. That desire, that vision that's been given to you didn't just come randomly. I believe it's a call and response from you and life, you and the universe, if you want to say you and God. And it's sacred and it's there for a reason. It's there for the win that it's going to create, not just for you, but for everyone that is part of it and receives it and watches it and witnesses it. And that then uplifts the world. So this is a really important good thing. And we want to add this step. I don't believe you can just be, do, have. I believe you be, as in you get clear on the vision, you release what's in the way. Then you do, taking the actions that are aligned with the vision, and you will have the result. Okay, so this is called the Oracle Transformer, named after our elite thought leader mastermind Oracle. So we have Thought Leader Academy, and then many of our members stay on and do Thought Leader Mastery. And then we have our Oracle Mastermind for our 7-figure thought leaders who are really looking at making a profound global impact and legacy that outlasts even themselves. So here's how it works. Similar to a previous episode, you're going to write down your next rise at the top of a piece of paper. Okay. And I think we have a worksheet of this that I'll link in the show notes. If we do, I will link it there for you. So you can, if you prefer to type and put this in a really nicely laid out PDF, you can do so. All right. So at the top, you are going to write the goal. If it's 7 figures of income, if it's a certain stage, if it's a podcast episode you want to be on, a podcast you want to start, a bestseller list, you write that at the top of your page. Okay. Do that now. All right. Once you've got your goal, and I'm going to have you pause this episode to do the work alongside. If you're in the car, you can listen and do it later, but be sure to do this. It doesn't work to just hear it. You've got to do it, right? So then you're going to make 4 columns on your page. So let's say you wrote, a certain income goal at the top of your page, and then you're going to just make sure you have 3 more columns, actually. Okay, so your paper could look like this. Let's say you want to make $3 million this year, and here is column 1, column 2, and column 3. All right. So you see, I'm doing it real messy. So you can see it doesn't have to be pretty and perfect. All right. In the left-hand column, you are going to write down all the reasons. We've done a version of this. If you've listened to the previous episode, you're going to write down all the reasons you can't be, do, or have that goal. Okay. So this is again, not rational, not spiritual, just let it rip. Fears, concerns, imposter syndrome, doubts, if specific, and get as specific as you can. Instead of just writing fear, like I'm afraid I will launch this course and no one will buy it. I'm afraid that I don't have time to write this book. I'm afraid, so just write a sort of quick but descriptive specific reason. Ready? Go. Okay, pause this until you've got your list. Get everything out. Squeeze every last bit of resistance. Get those gremlins on the page. Okay, now take a deep breath and do kind of a lion's breath. This is going to be really weird, but if you've done yoga, you know lion's breath. You'll breathe in, you'll roll your eyes up, you'll stick your tongue out and make a really goofy sound. But this is actually a release point. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Bang. Okay. Those of you listening versus watching this got a better view on that one. Okay. Now, in the next column, you are simply going to write down a statement that is the opposite of what you wrote. So if you wrote, I'm afraid I don't have time to write the book, in the next column, you write, I have more and more time every day. Time stretches to make space for my goals. I'm fully supported in the time I need. Like you pick a statement, what you're going to go for. It doesn't have to just be the exact opposite, but go for something that is the positive, whereas your first column is the gremlin, the negative, and you're going to write out some kind of, you don't have to believe it's true. Just if someone said, I'm going to pay you, $3,000 to write down a contrary statement, what would it be? So again, if you say, I'm afraid I'll write a book and no one will read it, just say, my work is valuable. There are people that really need what I have to say, and my book will be read by hundreds, thousands, millions, whatever it is that you want to write down. Okay. And you just go for one that feels like you don't have to believe it's true, but that feels like, I wish that was true. That feels great. Okay. So I want you to pause this recording now and write down the opposite of all the things in the first column in the second column. Okay, do that now. Okay, big deep breath, not lion's breath this time, kind of breathe into that belly. And then I want you to write at that first column on the left, write gremlins, like a G for gremlin at the top. And then just try this on for fun and see what resonates for you. In that second column where you just wrote these new statements, you're going to write truth. See, the thing is, the gremlins always lie. If you've read Stephen Pressfield's wonderful short little book called The War of Art, not the art of war, the War of Art, he wrote a whole book about resistance and about these imposter syndromes and these gremlins, and that they're all big liars. Okay. We think they're so true. We give them so much power, but they're actually completely false. So, gremlins, truth. Okay. Even if you don't believe it yet, just try on what it's like to just write truth there and see, oh, like, does that feel better? What if that was the truth? See, the fun part is a belief is just a thought that you've repeated enough times that sort of sticks. And so, what I recommend you do is write out the things in that next column, the opposites, what we're calling the truth, and stick them up on post-it notes or type them out on a page and stick it in your office. So you start to just inundate your consciousness with a tipping point that says, this is actually the truth. Even if you don't believe it yet, you're going to just pretend you believe. Do a little act as if. Okay. Final column, you're going to write down at the top solution. Now, there's two ways to do this column that our clients really enjoy, and I alternate the way I do it for my own resistance release depending on the situation. So you're going to go back to that gremlin column, and for each one of those, you're going to imagine option A, that a friend came to you with the same challenge. So the friend came and said, I really want to write this book. I feel called to write it, but I don't have any time. And how would you solve your friends? But we always we can think of so many great solutions for people that we love. It's like, wait a minute, I got this. You're going to go to bed an hour earlier, get up an hour, get up an hour earlier. you're going to get a babysitter 2 nights a week, and we're going to get on Zoom and we're going to knock this book out. Or, you would have tons, my hunch, because you're a really kind, compassionate, loving person who believes in your friends, you would have tons of ideas. Like, this would not be chat. You'd say, there's always a way. We're going to figure this out. Like, I got this, right? So you're going to write the solution. The other way to do it, it's kind of fun, is ask your future self how she solved this challenge. See, there's always a way. There's always a way. There's always a way. There's a way. There's a way. There's always a way. So we're now using our brain. We're using the reticular activating system to just say, almost remind me how I solved this, because there's a you that's already achieved that financial goal, that writing goal, that creative project, that business goal, that impact goal, that visibility goal. You've already achieved it. Okay. So you're now going to stop this recording, and you're going to go through, and you're going to write a solution either that you would give a beloved friend, or ask your future self, kind of in a meditative, close your eyes state, what did you do to solve this? And you're just going to write down all the solutions that come through to you. Ready, set, go. And now come on back when you've done that deep breath. Now, when I do this in a live training with our clients, which I do several times a year, usually when we're doing our visioning for, the year or a quarter, I always ask people, did any ideas come to you that you hadn't thought of already? And 90% of people will say, yeah, it was really interesting. I realized, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And then I say, for the rest of you, did something come that you kind of have been thinking would be useful to do and helpful, but you just haven't implemented yet or done yet? And then the rest of people. So I've never so far, and please message me if this does not yield anything for you, so we can figure that out and help you. I've never so far experienced doing this transformer. So it's really 4 parts. You write your goal, you list all the reasons your mind says you can't be, do, or have it. You write the opposites in your truth column, and then you generate solutions based on what you would advise a friend or what your future self did. Okay, when we go through this, I've never done this for myself and not had some idea either get affirmed and then be like, well, I better take action on that. I mean, I was kind of thinking about it, now I really see it's a solution, or something completely that I didn't even think of. And this is a way of using that idea. The obstacle can become the portal to the solution. We're starting with the obstacles, and then we force the truth. Wait, I can do this. I am capable. I am worthy. It is needed. It is valuable. There's a way to make it successful. The universe is supporting me. The universe gave me this to begin with. What I'm seeking is seeking me. That's your truth column. And then what's the way? There's always a way. What is the way? Oh, yeah, brain, remind me the way. Oh, yeah, universe, download the way. So do this a couple of times. Maybe you didn't get a ton of solutions the first time around. Use this repeatedly. I use this every time I feel resistance. I do this work. I do these 4 columns. And every time it yields some kind of movement for me. Maybe it just feels like a tiny baby step, but it gets me in motion, and a body in motion tends to stay in motion. The problem is typically we get excited about the vision, and then we go into the valley of despair with the gremlins when they tell us all the reasons we can't be, do, or have, and then we quit. And then we wait till we get inspired again. And then we go to bed. I mean, we just vicious cycle that, instead of going, oh, the truth, which yields, opens our mind to a higher vibration of possibility, and then solution, and then act on the solution equals be, release, do, have. You are going to make this rise. You are worthy of the rise. You are capable of the rise. Life is conspiring to organize the way for your rise. And if you do this, and you continue being the you that has embodied and manifested that rise, releasing what's in the way, taking the aligned actions, you will hit that summit. It's guaranteed. So look in the show notes for goodies. And if you feel stuck on this, and I've done this now hundreds of times, so it kind of just whips off. If you get into it and you're in the valley of despair with your gremlins, or just not sure what those truths and solutions are, then use the link. This is a limited time only, but in the show notes, we will do a custom strategy session for you. My incredible team, we're so brilliant, will meet with you one-on-one, and we will figure out what that solution column is for you and help you have some accountability to act on it. All right. I don't want anybody stuck in manifesting their rise. That's not why we do the show. We do the show so that you rise, and then you rise again, and you rise again, and you bring everybody with you. All right. That's what we're about here. We're all doing this together. So I don't know how many will be left, but use that link if you want to have a one-on-one strategy session with us so we can figure out what the truth and solutions are for you and help you have support, confidence, empowerment, and accountability in taking them. You've got this. I'll see you next time.